Hi, this is Abby speaking. Our group decided to do food sovereignty in education for our presentation, and our policy, more so specifically, is about food sovereignty in education curriculum. I have a couple bullet points that I will be touching over a little bit, but I just wanted to talk briefly about why we chose food sovereignty. Um, so we believe food sovereignty is important because it allows for individuals to take control of their nutrition, therefore their health. Um, we also believe that it eases food insecurity and it can help prevent health conditions. A few big ones are diabetes and heart disease. Um, and then we also believe that it can restore our connection to the environment, which I think is also important. And with this, our children will be learning experiential learning, which is a more hands on way of learning rather than just sitting in a classroom. Um, so, with this, children can learn more skills and tools that they wouldn't get just sitting in a classroom. And one example would be gardening. Um, and provide educators with more tools to improve student well-being. This is just kind of going over their health. Um, we believe that healthy diets can contribute to physical health, which also contributes to mental and emotional health. Um, I I feel that everything is connected, and so I think that if you are able to get your physical health under control, it is a lot easier to get your mental health under control. And a few mental health conditions that we would be trying to reduce are things such as anxiety and depression, which are very prevalent in today's society. Um, and lastly, provide families and children with access to fresh foods. This will just get away. This will, allow the community to be more involved, and this will allow for students to bring home fresh foods to their families, which we think is really important.
Hey, this is DM speaking on this slide. Um, as far as implementation, we envision that it can vary community to community so that it can fit lots of different environments and roles. But we think there's a lot of opportunity with publicly funded spaces that are otherwise being underutilized. For example, we really wanted to key in on there's tons of outdoor type spaces at many public elementary schools and even middle schools. There's field type situations and playground type situations, and we think we can use some of these spaces and repurpose them to facilitate some of this increased knowledge of food sovereignty. With some of that, we're hoping to use these places as gathering places to come together and plant community type gardens, whether it's just for the students in the school or it's like the parents. If it's like a city hall situation, it could be whatever group is coming together to plant it there. But it's our intention to use these areas as meeting places to come together and disseminate the knowledge and the skills needed to grow your own food. Um, with the conservation and restoration side, this policy, we're thinking we're going to help to prevent waste. You can start to use a lot of biodegradable composting type things to help grow your garden. So some of that like food stuff waste in cafeterias could be otherwise repurposed. And you can help to repair a lot of lost traditional food sovereignty in the sense that you're putting back into growing your own food. As far as ecosystem management goes with this policy, we believe there can be a whole lot less waste of space. You always see these playgrounds and these types of spaces that are very unnatural and man made. You have to keep them up with weed killer and things like that. And that's not to say you don't have to tend the garden, but we envision a situation where it's a whole lot less of a man-made environment in the sense that, oh, we've got to plow everything and take it out, as opposed to we can create a garden and something of that nature. And the big focus of this implementation in our mind, in our community, is we wanted to implement it in elementary schools, early childhood gardening and cooking. We want to go over the importance of taking care of the land in our bodies by creating food and disseminating those traditional knowledge and skills of how to grow and care for the land, and in turn, how to prepare the food so you can further care for your body and increase that traditional knowledge of food sovereignty. So that's a big part of how we envision this policy getting implemented.
Here are some next steps that our policy would work towards. With our proposal, we hope that it will strengthen people's appreciation for the land and the environment as a whole. Community efforts would be greater, and the overall well-being of people in the community will be further strengthened. It will provide a common ground for people in the community. Through community building efforts, it would further allow people to share their perspectives on topics like food sovereignty and helping others in need. With highlighting the teachings of traditional ecological knowledge, it will better instill a sense of community and learning from one another. To close our presentation, I would like to leave you with a quote that aligns well with our policy that we have presented in the slides before this. The quote is by a Squamish chief named Chief Seattle, who lived in America during the mid-1800s. It speaks to a common teaching in indigenous cultures about respecting nature and the lands. The following quote is, "This we know, the earth does not belong to man. Man belongs to the earth. All things are connected, like the blood that unites us all. Man did not weave the web of life. He is merely a strand in it. Whatever he does to the web, he does to himself."